This is KPRN-DB, broadcasting worldwide from Southeast Oklahoma, USA, to parts unknown.
Hey preppers, James Smith here. I've got a new advertiser to tell you about. It is ultimatepreppers.net. There's a couple brothers out of the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area that have this website. It's chock full of everything you need and at a decent price. Let me tell you, they've got a Mayday fanny pack kit for less than $30, a Guide 10 Plus Adventure Kit for solar power, 5-man tent for $89, tomahawks, GPS, go bags, so much more. Take a look at it. Freeze-dried food, supplies, you wouldn't believe it. Now, they also sell guns online, and they also have military surplus items. Now, new items are being added daily. If you order more than $100, items are shipped free. Now, they also do take PayPal, so take a look at it. It's ultimatepreppers.net. That's ultimatepreppers, that's plural, .net.
Don't get caught with your pantry down. Try the most delicious Just Add Water storable food from Go Foods. No GMOs, no preservatives, no trans fats, no hydrogenated oils, and a 25-year shelf life. Enjoy it today and save money. Share it with others and earn money. Store it for the future and invest your money. You can't find better food for less anywhere. Made in the USA and guaranteed 100%. Plus, try it for free and decide for yourself at www.lovegofoods.com. To try it for free, go to www.lovegofoods.com. That's www.lovegofoods.com.
Feeling like there are too many pressures and demands on you? Losing sleep worrying about tests and schoolwork? Eating on the run because your schedule is just too busy? You may be under too much stress, and it may be affecting your mind. Get your mental edge back with Nootropic Mind Power from mindregard.com. Nootropic Mind Power is not a drug, but a natural supplement. Its 12 powerful ingredients are natural and non-GMO, plus it's gluten-free, wheat-free, and formulated by Americans for Americans by an NSF-certified laboratory. Nootropic Mind Power is available at mindregard.com, spelled MINDREGARD.com, and comes with a 100% money-back guarantee. Free your mind with Nootropic Mind Power Cognitive Supplement from mindregard.com. MindRegard. Clearly see tomorrow and yesterday. Today.
Are you storing food? Many preppers are storing food for months and years, but only have enough fuel stored for days or weeks. Stretch your fuel storage by harnessing the power of the sun with a sun oven. Food can be baked, boiled, or steamed at temperatures of 360 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit with the power of the sun. Depending on where you are located, you can use the sun for 50 to 80% of your cooking, allowing you to preserve your fuel storage for rainy days. Sun-baked foods stay moister and have less shrinkage and don't burn. Sun-baked roasts are tastier and more succulent, and sun-baked bread has unparalleled taste and texture. Water can be heated in a sun oven for purification or personal hygiene. For the past 25 years, sun ovens have been proudly made in the U.S. They are durable, have a long life, and come with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For a discount coupon, email podcast@sunoven.com. That's podcast@sunoven.com.
The truth is out there. Knowledge is power. This is the Prepper Podcast Radio Network.
I agree with Alan Greenspan, we ought to just eliminate the debt ceiling. Oh, absolutely, we do.
The ability of almost every working American to access more credit than they should have been able to masked the underlying fact that lower and middle class incomes were not rising.
That's not a tenable strategy. Isn't now the time to eliminate it? Oh, we've been a long time ago.
Let's put aside terrorism. Let's talk only about our own homegrown animals that are patrolling America right now. So it goes down to the simplest thing. Be prepared, be vigilant.
Searching my Good evening, it's James Walton with I Am Liberty here. I've got a little manic depression here in the background, and it's very appropriate for tonight's show because I want to talk a little bit about the fact that there will always be maniacs in society. No matter how much, and you know, I hate to beat the drum. I know you guys are probably just tired of hearing about the guns and this and that and you know, all the business, but you know what it comes down to is the simple fact that there will always be maniacs, man. There's always going to be a nut. There will never be a situation where there's not danger in our world from the people around us. It's been that way forever. So I want to open the show and talk about that a little bit. I want to talk about the fact that, you know, this backwards idea that perhaps we can stifle the maniacs by taking away a specific weapon of choice. I think it's failed. I don't like it. And, you know, I hear this a lot, but I'm going to repeat it because I kind of like the point. If it's not a gun, it's something else. You know, I saw, my wife showed me a DeWalt nail gun that could shoot through a board at 200 yards. You know, how sick do you want people to get? I guess. You know, of course no one should die. I was listening to the radio on the drive home, and you know, this really got to me. You know, even for you folks out there who are atheists and believe that, you know, when your time comes, it's finito and you're going nowhere. I think this, you know, even if you have no real alliance to the Bible or the Ten Commandments, I heard a priest on the radio say that this is not a Second Amendment issue. This is a Sixth Commandment issue. I really dug that. I thought that was big, you know. It's not about the weapons, it's about the way we look at hurting and maiming and killing one another in society today. And a big reason of that is because we don't come up with any type of consequence, you know. But anyhow, these people are brought to the brink. They're maniacs. You know, they're fringe people who have just, you know, they've got so much on their mind, or something has gone so terribly wrong in their life. A lot of it, you know what I feel, a lot of it comes down to guidance, and I think that they didn't receive the type of guidance they needed coming up. We're going to try to work on that in 2013. You know, I think that's something that my listening audience and people around the country need to get into. I really do feel like that. And also we have to understand that no matter what, no matter how much help someone gets, there's always going to be a madman, and we have to be able to defend ourselves against a madman. Can we all agree on that at least? Can we all agree on the fact that there are maniacs in the world and nothing we do can legislate them away? Can we at least agree on that? Because that's the truth. There is nothing else. You know, there is no legislation to make people right in the head. That's all there is to it. We're going to have my buddy Mike on tonight. I'm actually Skyping back and forth with him right now. He's a little busted up about the gun thing. I think, you know, with all the talk and all the articles and all this and all the radio and everything and guns, the way the media is nowadays, there's so much of it that really, until it's knocking on the front door, you really don't even take it into consideration. You know, we're so overwhelmed and just flooded with information that I think until you read that article that says this stuff's going to happen tomorrow, it really doesn't get to you. And what I think happened is, you know, we're all catching the wind of the idea that this is real and something's going to pass and something's going to happen to our gun rights. So, Michael, he basically sent me an email the other day. He's all torn up about it, as he well should be. And I said, look, man, why don't you come on? We'll have a little discussion. Get some stuff off your chest. I feel like my audience, you guys, you really enjoy real feelings and emotions. And I imagine that's why you listen to me, because I'm not so much a screaming emotional guy, but I just like to say what's on my mind when it's on my mind, and you're the perfect forum for that. I feel like I can say what I want to say, and even if we disagree, we're still in a group of friends here on this radio show that, even if we don't all agree, we can talk. There's no crazy left-wing maniacs. And I know I said I wasn't going to. I need a better word. I need a better word for liberal, for left-wing, for, I told you I wanted to stop using headings and prefixes in 2013, but there are people, and maybe we'll just call them the others. Let's just call them the others. The others, and we're going to talk about the others a little later, because I think Mike wants to talk about the others too, but the others, they just don't get it. There's a problem there in the brain or the bring up. I don't know what it is. But anyhow, there's a problem with them. But anyway, we're going to have Mike come on soon. We're going to touch on some topics here. I wanted to get you guys, I'm not going to talk too much about the mentoring thing tonight, because I don't want to overdo it. I don't want you guys to get to the point where you're kind of like, you know what, I don't even really want to hear about this anymore. I really want to keep it fresh and really only bring you information that is pressing and when you actually want to be involved. I feel like it's something that we could, if I rant on it too much, then you're just going to put it out of your mind. So I'm just going to give you a quick website, very hard to remember, so get your pen and your pad, because this URL is something else. Alright? It's mentoring, mentoring.org. Did you write that down? Okay. Anyhow, go check it out, read a little bit about it. This is step one. This is the first step to getting things back in order. The next generation is clearly my generation. Like I said, I'm a young man, 26 years old. My generation is sick in the head, okay? So, we need to work on the next one. We need to work on the next one. I see it in my niece. I see it in my niece a lot. She sees things, you know what I mean? She's 11 years old. She's really starting to understand things. She sees the bad things the others do. You know what I mean? She understands what's right, what's wrong. She understands consequence very well also. So I think the next generation is going to grow up and they're going to look at their parents and they're going to see all this excess. They're going to see all this madness and all this, reckless abandon. And I think with the right little bit of nudging, we can get people back in line. And I know this sounds like some sort of crazy, I don't know, learning, pushing some kind of relearning on people, but it comes down to right and wrong, man. We got to get back to it. We got to get back to understanding common sense and things like that, because I just can't even imagine the amount of kickback we're getting on some issues in America today that really should just be easy. They should be easy to solve. But anyhow, mentoring.org. Like I said, write it down. It's a tough one to remember. I don't want any of you guys to forget. I read a really great article today. Why don't I bring this bad boy up for you guys? I went to my best buddies in the world, and that's Michael from the PrepperWebsite.com. The Prepper website, if you don't visit it at least 5 days out of the week, you're really missing out. on some great information, and it's a one-stop shop. It's almost sort of like a Drudge layout, but for, prepper information, survival information. It is a quality site, man. So I came across a website, prep-blog.com, and basically what really caught my eye is an article. It says, "Now what gun should I buy? Expletive." And it kind of goes over the bill a little bit, what could be passed about the magazines and all this, the clips and whatever, the ARs, basically saying, ARs are really hard to come by. I was just talking to Mike about this the other night. He said he was trying to get one and people are selling them for like double the price. But anyhow, what really got me interested is this lever action rifles. Now, I don't know much about rifles, so this is cool to me. If you're hip to this already, just listen, because I'm gonna talk about it for a minute. So they're basically, what the author is saying is, the next best scenario for you is a lever action rifle. They're not considered semi-automatic. I'm just going to read here for a little bit. Lever action rifles are one possibility. They're not considered semi-automatic, so they will likely avoid most restrictions of any new law. However, the 10-round magazine limit might still apply. Some lever actions take more than 10 rounds. Now, to me, that's sweet. But anyhow, typically these guns have barrels longer than 20 inches. For example, Uberit offers lever action rifles with 24-inch barrels that take 13 plus 1 rounds. Yeah, 14 rounds. And you can get these guys in the 308. The 308 is a serious weapon. But anyway, that's a serious bullet to be shooting at anything, I think. But these are serious times. Anyhow, one significant problem with the lever action rifles and tubular magazines is the number of round that a 357 Magnum .38 special lever action will take. A gun that's listed as holding is 10 plus 1 rounds of .357 Magnum will usually load 11 plus 1 rounds of .38 special. So even though the gun is advertised as a 10-1, it might possibly run afoul of new gun control restrictions on mag capacity. So what they're saying is, if you got that 10 plus 1 and they start to say you can't have mags over 10, I don't see anybody thinking that far into this thing, because I really don't think it's about the guns. It's about, it's about a power grab. You know what I'm saying? It's about, I want to do this because I need to do something. And like I said, it also goes back to the people. It goes back to, President, you got to do something about these shooters. And since you can't clear up mental illness, and you won't go after the Ritalin makers, then I guess you're going to have to do something about the guns, right? And that's the only answer. That's the only quick answer. It's not the right answer. A big difference. Big difference. So these lever action rifles, I think they're worth lever, never go back to her, I don't know what it is. But anyhow, the lever action rifles, I think, are worth looking into. Like I said, you can get them in the 308. You can get them in basically the 5.56. Well, the .223. You can get them in that. And increased accuracy. That it's the ones I read about. I read some made by Browning. The one that was highly recommended was made by Marlin. And you're dealing with a weapon that's more accurate than an M16 anyway, because of the longer barrel and everything. So, I think it's worth looking into, personally. It's kind of old school, kind of John Wayne-y, but I would say look into it. I'm going to look into it. I'll probably hit the range, maybe give one a try, see what I think about it, It's, the assaults are going to get it sooner rather than later. And you're not going to be able to buy an assault rifle right now for a reasonable price. I can guarantee you that. Anyone who's got them is going to pump up the price if they know anything about business. You can't be mad at them. Supply and demand. But, so thoughts from the other side is another topic I want to discuss tonight. I wanted to understand, and I know I can't get callers or anything like that, but if you want to write me an email, I'm sure there's people just like me, and I'm sure there's people that are completely the opposite of me that listen to this show. You know, if there's people out there who are, I'm sure, listening to the show and saying, this guy's a goddamn kook, I can't believe this, but let's listen to it and laugh. If you're out there, IamLibertyShow@gmail.com. Write me up, okay? And tell me what you're thinking. Why is the other side so calm and cool with these quick conclusions to problems? You know, we've got a government that has simply spent itself into near collapse. I mean, it's basically spent itself to the point where it can't even help itself anymore. And I just want to know, when these problems come up and these gun issues and all these things happen, why everyone's so cool about everything. You know, and I think I know the reason, but I want to hear it from the others. I want to hear it from you guys because it's just sort of my hypothesis at this point. You know, is it really all that? Is it really just you are so wrapped up in your own daily life and you believe that you have it and it's so rough and it's so bad and you have no time to do anything that you're just going to say, you know what, throw caution to the wind. Let them bastards up on Capitol Hill deal with it. I don't care. You know, tell them to fix it. Have them fix it. I don't have time to fix this shit. You know? I'm working 2 jobs here and trying to raise a family. I don't have time for this. But, just interested in that. You know what, though? The way this night's going, the way tomorrow... I mean, tomorrow is basically like the day, right? Tomorrow is essentially the day when they make the decision for this gun thing. So, I think I need a little more Jimmy. What do you guys think? A little more Jimmy, Matt? A little more? Just, you know, just a little more Jimmy. This way we can sort of prepare ourselves for what's coming, you know? Give Mike a call here. What's going on, Mike?
What's happening, sir?
Oh, there you go. Got a lot of bass in the voice this evening.
You know how I do.
So we got a little, oh, all right. Nothing wrong with that. We're exchanging beverage talk, but anyhow, I got a little manic depression on here because, well, I don't think there's really explanation needed for that, but we opened the show with a little Hendrix earlier because I thought it was fitting for the night here, but basically what we got on the horn, I went over a little bit about, you know, basically the fact that no matter what type of legislation we draw up, there's always going to be maniacs. There's nothing they can do about that fact. We talked a little about the old school John Wayne lever action rifles. I don't know if you ever really looked into them too much, but they're kind of something to think about if we really do get our assaults banned.
Well, no, yeah, you better start thinking about something. Anything with a magazine is going to be illegal.
Well, that's one of the problems with that bad boy, because that thing actually holds, it can hold like a 10+1. So that would essentially be illegal if they get their way. So.
That's a strange concept to me, dude.
Definitely.
Somebody comes knocking and you're armed and then you're unarmed. I don't understand how that happens.
Well, I've said this to the audience before. That doesn't happen at my house.
Right.
It goes something either along the lines of they knock and I don't leave the house ever again, physically anyway.
Yeah, that's what dude, let me tell you. So this bombshell drops where some unfortunate psychopath performs a disgusting act of violence, and then all of a sudden here we are talking about taking guns away from innocent people. So I go online. I'm trying to track down any form of assault rifle I can before they decide to ban him. So something I would have been able to do a month ago with little to no problem. Now, if you find an AR-15 for under $3,000, it's probably broken. If you find an AR-10, I mean, you're lucky. Find an FN AR-308, good luck. And an M1A, I can't find anything, man.
That's amazing. I was just telling them that exact story that you told me about, basically people are just jumping prices up, just because they know they can, which, you can't blame them for it, but at the same time, it's like the wheels are falling off already, people are getting all excitable.
Yeah.
So essentially tomorrow is going to be the day that they're supposed to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see this going at a federal level. The NRA is too strong. Hopefully, we'll see. But I got the great gaffer Joe Biden. He's from my state, and his brilliant son, Bo.
I'm sorry, that's awesome.
Is just as maybe even more influential around here. So
just Bo and Mo and Larry and Joe hanging out, talking gun legislation. That just tickles me. I had no idea his son's name was Bo. That's fantastic. No offense to anybody out there listening whose name is Bo, but if your father were Joe Biden, you would be an idiot. I'm sorry.
Fucking Bo Biden.
Fuck.
So yeah, this mass of brain cells hard at work, sitting behind their desks somewhere safe, is deciding what we're going to do with the rest of our lives.
I like it. I think it's interesting. I think it's very interesting that people so out of touch and have people that really have no idea what it's like to have to worry about protecting themselves, make decisions for people that have to worry about protecting themselves.
Right.
Awesome.
I think we've lost track, man. We've lost track of, and I'd hate to pull this card because everybody listening to this show is probably going to agree with me, but I mean, how many times can you hear it? The Second Amendment. It's not there so I can go kill a deer.
Right. Right.
It is if, I think I told you in that conversation we had earlier this week, First Amendment gives me the right to walk outside and call President Obama whatever the hell I want to call him. And the Second Amendment gives me the right to protect myself in case he sends his lackeys after me because he don't like what I said.
That's basically it. I was talking about this earlier. Something interesting. I think you'll find it interesting, even though it is sort of has a religious undertone for sure. But I was listening to the radio and I heard a guy on there who was actually I don't know if he was a priest or not, but he was on, I don't know if you ever listen to American Family Radio.
Yeah.
Listen to it once in a while. It's pretty good. It can get a little overbearing. But anyhow, he was saying, it's not a Second Amendment issue as much as it's a Sixth Commandment issue. And I kind of dug that because it really does come down to we need to figure out a way to stop people from killing each other, not so much what they're killing each other with.
Yeah, dude, it's never going to happen. You can't do it. It's unfortunate. It's sad. But look at the the more regulated the country is, I think the more miserable the people are. Like, look at these nut jobs that we're in the process of fucking with overseas. Like, they do sick, deplorable things, and they're all kept under the thumb of the government. Like, I don't want to be like that. Like, I like this country. You know what I mean? I try to keep it that way. And guns aside, you're not going to stop so-and-so from stabbing so-and-so. You're not going to stop this, what's his name, from driving through the front of a building and taking people out. You're never going to remove violence. It's part of what we are. We're not done being cavemen yet. We're still working on that.
I don't think we'll ever be done with it, to be honest.
We'll probably blow ourselves up before we're done getting through that, or we'll regress completely. But for now, I mean, this is what I kept saying. I'm sad. I'm depressed. When I heard about the Connecticut thing, I was literally sick to my stomach to the point where I couldn't concentrate and I couldn't eat. But just thinking about it, and never once did it enter my mind It's a shame he got his hands on a gun. It didn't even enter into my. I never, call me naive, but I didn't think we were going to enter into a gun debate over this. And then I go home, I hug my kid, because that's the only thing I had in my mind for the rest of that day. And I turn on the TV, and everybody's talking about gun control, and you got these disgusting insect reporters with their cameras and the faces of these kids.
Oh man.
Something disgusting.
That was hideous.
And then they launch into their who's pro-gun, who's anti-gun, and I couldn't handle it anymore. I turned off the TV. I haven't turned it back on since. I got rid of the Facebook account because everybody's an expert. So,
that was so obscene to me. That was so obscene. That was on a level of obscenity that I couldn't even hardly express. When I heard that little kid, I never even seen the footage because I don't watch the news because of exactly what you're talking about. But when I heard it on 1140, the radio talk down here, and man, when I heard that little kid on the mic, and the little twerpy fucking loser media guy, so tell me what happened, little Mandy? What happened in there? Where's your mommy? You know what I mean, dude? Oh,
yeah. I
would have just leveled that guy. I'm serious. Even just walking by, someone should have just been like, do you have a soul?
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, I think it speaks to the condition that we're in now. I mean, of course, the fact that nobody just dropped an elbow on his forehead in the middle of him talking to that kid. Like, what are we doing? I think it speaks to the attitude that the majority of people have now, which is somebody should really do something.
Yes. Yes.
Well, you are somebody.
That's it.
So, I don't know. I'm with you, man. We've been chatting. I think you've been chatting with your crowd here about getting out and actually accomplishing something. Stop saying somebody should do something. Start saying, what can I do?
Well, that's what it is, I think what it is we've created a society where if we just shut the hell up and do our jobs, we'd live a pretty happy life. But things start to fall apart, and things have been falling apart for so long. I think people are just comfortable with the quota. They don't want to be uncomfortable, You know the people in your life that come out and say shit to people that deserve getting said shit to.
Yep.
The whole society looks at them like, man, that dude's crazy. I wouldn't mess with him.
And I've seen it. It's the conditioning, man. We're all conditioned for that.
No, definitely.
Keep your head down, shut your mouth, go to work, and make sure you stop at McDonald's on the way home.
Yes, exactly. No, you're 100% right, man. You're 100% right. As long as you get to work and get me my tax money, then we'll be cool.
That's right.
And don't ever harp about it. But yeah, we definitely want to push that solution end, man, this year. We got to. And like I said, I don't even know what the solutions are. We're working on a few things, but it's just one of those, just sick and tired of doing nothing. That's basically what it is. And I think most of the people that listen to the radio show, because so many talk radio guys are just harping on the stuff now, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, every talk radio guy on the right is like a historian, you know what I mean? The Founding Fathers and the Second Amendment and this and that, and it's just like, all right, well, you're going to lose every audience if you keep that up, you know what I mean? Everyone's just going to be like, dude, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any more about George Washington this week,
Yeah. I mean, as important as that stuff is, you're right, everybody's covering it. It's time to... It's obviously not doing anything for people.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's not getting the desired effect.
They're basically like, well, what a great man he was. I'm a bum. I'm going to work at Costco. You know what I mean?
Yeah, think about it, man. It was only 200 years ago. What have we been doing? What happened?
That's what's sad. And that's what I can't get through people's heads. It's like, it seems another part of it, and this, one of the other topics we were talking about before I brought you on is the one I emailed you, and that's, figuring out what I decided, Mike, also, I'll let you know this in advance because you'll probably think I'm a fucking retard if I don't tell you. I'm going to try my best. Now, all these things that I'm trying to do, I'm trying, not to rant on shit that we know is wrong. I'm trying not to, except for tonight. I prefaced this show with one of my closest friends needs to get some stuff off his chest, so we're going to do that. But going forward, and I'm trying not to label groups anymore. I'm trying not to right-wing, left-wing, liberal, conservative, all that whole thing. So anyhow, we're going to call the people that I disagree with the others from here on. So anyways, we were wondering what the others are thinking and how they're so solid on their opinion and how they're so calm about everything. You know, it seems like they hear the popular opinion and they're just cool with it. Like, man, we got to do something about these guns, man. We just got to do something about these guns. Yeah, we do. Okay.
You don't know how many times I've heard that in the past few weeks, and I've resisted every fiber of my body getting into a gun law debate and all this shit because, I'm tired of having these conversations. I'm sick of it. Where you just, you have a conversation and you either walk away from it feeling like I just wasted 15 minutes of my life, or you walk away from it thinking, I made some really good points there, and then you realize I just wasted 15 minutes of my life.
Yes, exactly.
There's nothing coming from it.
What's his name, the big fat head, if Zach Galifianakis doesn't agree with it, then you're not going to get it through their head. That's what it comes down to nowadays. Yeah. It's like if Rihanna didn't say it, then it can't be right. Sorry. You made some excellent points, Mr. Dunlap, but,
to an audience of 1 or 2, and they're going to go home and watch American Idol and forget you even spoke.
That's right.
This is what I like about your audience, where I think these are a group of people that tune in, they listen, they're concerned, and they probably don't watch American Idol, which is great.
We're going to see how concerned they are. I've definitely been testing. You know what I mean? I want to see. I'm really interested to see how many people email me and how many people take the reins on this thing and try to make the country better. Everybody wants to, like I said, everybody wants to talk about what's wrong with it. So I want to see if this audience wants to get involved. I told them prepping isn't just about cans, man. It's not just about water. You know what I mean? It's not about cool little weapons you buy online. It's definitely about getting the community straight. You could have everything cool in the world, but if your neighbor comes and shoots you in your sleep and takes it all, guess what? It's just a lot of money wasted. But anyhow, another thing I wanted to talk about that was kind of off the topic, but when I was running earlier tonight at the gym, and I was thinking about mortality and sort of how it definitely plays a part in what's going on right now. I think people are so petrified of dying nowadays that people use it. I think either side uses it, really. I've seen a lot of people use it for different things, and I feel like mortality is definitely the great equalizer because, we're all, no matter who you are, we're all going to face it eventually. But I feel like people get scared enough and then they do whatever the popular voice says, and I think it's because of that. I think people can't deal with death. Not to say that anybody should be able to deal with their kid getting shot at school, but I just think that the mortality is a relevant subject to what we're getting at here. It's one of those things that I don't think people think about too often, but I definitely I think people need to mull it over in their head just how much you want to sacrifice to stay, stay quote-unquote safe from the people around you.
Yeah. I know how far I'd go, but I don't know, people look at me kind of funny sometimes. I don't know if that's the social norm. It's like, I get the attitude where it's, I feel like when I say certain things to certain people about, well, think about it, really think about it, well, for example, it's like, well, why do you need an assault rifle? Well, A, because I fucking want one.
Right.
And B, just in case, a soldier comes knocking who's sent here. I got enough around the house to where if, some random thug decides he wants my TV, or, A, he can have my TV, but B, when he decides he wants to come upstairs and see what else he can get, I'm not really concerned about that, but the way I address that with the normal, in quotes, individuals of the world, they look at me like, why wouldn't you just roll over and take it? Like, it's such a weird thing. Nobody wants to defend themselves anymore, so
It all comes back to what I was talking about, Mike, with the with that whole big, we called the government Big Brother for years, right?
Yeah.
And
It's a half joke.
I think we got it way wrong. I think what they are, they're like Big Papa. You know what I mean? We go to them every time something happens, and that's why we're in the boat we're in now. You know what I mean? Natural disaster, someone gets shot at school, all these things that happen, 9/11, and, some of them are legit, some of them are not. For instance, I think we need to take care of more things on the state level. We need to take care of more things on the community level. You know what I mean? I think every little problem that pops up, we go, Papa Gov, fix it. You know what I mean? Can you fix this? And then when they don't fix it right, we shit on them. Well, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah. FEMA. Think about it. Think about FEMA. Like, even as, quote unquote preppers, it's a common thing to say, FEMA's not going to get there. FEMA might not get there.
Yeah.
But I don't think we ever say that from a point of view of, because they don't like us, or like that Kanye West.
Oh, yeah, right.
George Bush hates black people.
Of course.
Because he didn't get to you after saying he wasn't going to get to you. Like, we're saying FEMA's not going to get to you, meaning the government's not going to get to you, meaning they can't, there's not enough of them to go around. There's too many of us.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm with you. Like, I saw a perfect bumper sticker not too long ago that said, "The government is not your baby's daddy."
That's the damn right.
And I think that's pretty fitting for that there. I mean, too many people, like, you're absolutely right. They come to the government with their hat in their hand, and they're not begging. They're insisting.
Oh, yeah.
They deserve it.
Oh, there is no begging. There is no need. You know what I mean?
It's not, can I please have, it's, where is mine?
You got it. That's the bumper sticker. Where is mine? Because I deserve it. But yeah, that's a point I was talking to Michelle about, my wife, the other night. She has a buddy and a girlfriend at work, and he's buying gold and stuff like that, and her buddies at work are like, what is your man buying gold for, and all this, and getting on him about being a little bit crazy and all that. And it's like when the Federal Emergency Management Group comes out and tells you, look, you got to start getting prepared for things like this because we can't help you. And then everyone looks at you like you're mad.
I know, dude.
What is going on?
It's nuts. Even in my wife, man, I've been. I don't come to her with like worst case scenarios. Worst case scenarios, I still look at as slightly unlikely.
Yeah, that scares people
possible.
off too. That definitely is an automatic, like, okay, this dude is losing it. You know what I mean?
But there's the real deal stuff, man. Sandy was a perfect example. Look
Damn right, man.
You got a couple jugs of water in the basement and a bit of canned food in there, something to hold you by. And since you got no power, that means you got no alarm system, which means you're on your own. And the cops are pretty busy, so you better police yourself. So that's all. You got to approach her from that point of view. Like, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. My wife even looks at me like, I have three heads sometimes, where it's just, what do you need 300 rounds of 9mm for? Well, in case I can't run to the store and buy any. And go to the store, look for it. I don't know about you, I'm up here in the Northeast, I can't find shit.
Yeah, well, we both, the proximity we both have to a major river, that's something to be alarmed about right there,
Yeah.
It's one of those things, my sister was in a unique situation with that Sandy storm because it got to the point where she was evacuated essentially from her area, but she didn't leave because, she was basically wanting to ride it out. And, a lot of times the evacuations are a little bit excessive. Areas that probably won't run into problems get evacuated. The only thing is, when you get those evacuations, they're basically on the CYA. You know what I mean? They're saying, look, we're not going to be around, so have fun if you stay. And, that's when it all comes down to you. That's when it all comes down to, you know what, if it's like this for a couple weeks or a couple months, because them Sandy people still haven't got money yet.
No.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Dude, look at Jersey.
Yeah, that's true.
Jersey is fucked. Like, I know people from Jersey, and
I would hope so.
People talk that are from Jersey. Kevin Smith's a good example. And they got a certain type of pride among them. That's fine, state pride. I'm all about, that, I guess. I don't really care about where I'm from. Typically, I live in Delaware right now, and that's horrible. But
Delaware's a sweet state. But anyhow.
I'll just give you an idea. Even if this federal law passes, or doesn't pass, it's getting knocked down, I guarantee they're going to do something in Delaware to make it harder for me to go out and buy myself a rifle. Guarantee it. But, among other horrible reasons to live in Delaware. But, Jersey, they're proud of it, that's fine. But they also get offended when you call it, like, the armpit state. It is what it is. It's basically that their gun laws are essentially in violation of the Second Amendment. Yep. They're everything about that. All right, so they need to cut spending. So what do? Well, let's fire all the cops. Well, wait a minute. What about Camden? Oh yeah, that's where I was talking about firing all the cops. Isn't that the murder capital of the East Coast and sometimes the highest murder rate in the United States? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how they save their money.
That's
fire
great.
The cops, fire the firefighters.
Well, that's the thing that nobody wants to talk about, man. San Bernardino's cutting cops, New York's cutting cops, New Jersey's cutting cops, and they want to cut guns out of your house.
Right.
What the hell world do we live in here?
You can't have a police state without police. I guess that's some good news.
No, I mean, well, I don't personally ever think we'll ever have to worry about a police state because I don't think we have unless they get the grips around NATO deep enough that they can have a NATO force come into our country. But even then, man, so many people in this country own guns, and that's never going to change.
Yeah.
It's never going. It's a reason why people don't come onto these shores and bring their their problems because it's just so many people with guns. It would, I think we're in good shape. They start pulling assault rifles, we're going to have... I'd like to see that have riots. Can we get some riots once in a while about constitutional thing? They riot about the dumbest shit. You ever notice?
Yeah, I mean, we got... probably the top three biggest riots, in my mind, are your sports team lost.
Definitely.
Your sports team won.
Definitely. That's 1 and 2.
And you
maybe reverse them, but yep.
College and don't know how to find a job.
You got it.
Those are the three things.
You got it, and you're completely frustrated because you voted a president in who's doing nothing but killing jobs.
Hoping, what was it? Hoping something?
Hoping piss.
Change.
Hoping piss. But I got this buddy, Mike. This is phenomenal. I talked about this a few shows back. If you ever have a chance to read the Economic Collapse blog, that's basically what it is, the economiccollapseblog.com.
Okay.
Dude is like a complete genius. His articles are so spot on, and his interpretation of society is just so perfect. I mean, if you ever get a chance to read some of his stuff, just go ahead and read it. But anyhow, his whole job the last month of the year, and this is great, was because I wanted to bring him on the show to talk, before the fiscal cliff and all that stuff. I wanted to talk to him about it because he knows everything. And he was like, yeah, James, I'm really busy right now. I'm basically firing as many people as I can and replacing them with part-timers so that we don't get hit with any of these Obamacare, charges later on in the year. And he said, I'll be pretty much busy through the new year doing that, so I can't come on. And I was like, dude, if I could just get you to record that and send it to me, that would be
what people are doing,
that would be plenty.
Look at Papa John's. This fucking guy. I'm not there with the
better ingredients, better pizza.
Yeah, less employees.
Less employees.
Like, you're gonna fire 1,200 people. This guy made. And how are we gonna come up with all the money to pay these people? To pay for their insurance. And then in the same breath, he's like, oh, by the way, we're giving away 2 million pizzas. I don't know where you're gonna find that money, John.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Awesome.
But regardless, I don't know if you don't know how for your. It's been that same way for ages, dude. What changed? Like I worked a shitty job, Flipping a pizza, flipping burgers, same fucking thing. I did this. I didn't get any insurance, and then I found a better job that got me insurance, or I paid for the doctor. I figured it out. You know what I mean? But here we are again. We're talking about help me out. So, who's going to pay my medical bills? Well, fucking you are. Well, I don't want to. Tough shit.
Well, then you don't go to the doctor unless you got money up front. Sorry.
Yeah, man. If you're sick, figure it out. You got clinics, or you got, the emergency room.
Yeah, you can go to the hospital. You go to the hospital.
Go buy a bottle of Tamiflu and sit your ass down.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man, on the Obama care note, because, how far, there's really no limit to how far the government can go with what you do now. You know what I mean? If they're paying for you to that point, there's no reason why they can't be like, dude, you got to go get a flu shot. No, like, really, you got to go get a flu shot. I don't care if you don't like it.
If you don't have health insurance by a certain date, and I forget the date, you will be fined. That blows my fucking mind.
That really blows my mind. Especially for people like my parents, dude, who are broke as hell and are like, dude, we can't even think about affording health insurance, and now you're going to fine me. What?
There are people I know several people, and I won't discuss relation to them or relationships with them, I should say, for, just in case they're listening or whatever, but they have $40 in the bank account,
Oh, me? You're talking about me?
Oh, yeah,
that's
right.
Fine. They can know about that. That's me. That's
so
no big.
But anyway, to your name, that's all your money. That's what you got now. So figure that out until payday. Unless payday ain't coming, but I know some people like that too. And they got the flu right now. No insurance.
Right.
They don't pay to the doctor. So what are you gonna do? Obama says you need health care, or you got to pay for this discounted health care. Well, I can't afford your health care. Well, now you got to pay a fine. I can't afford your fine. So what now?
Throw me in jail. Then I can get free health care.
Maybe that's what he kept Gitmo open for.
I got it. That's what it is, Mike. You just uncovered it. That's his plan for free health care. Look, you can't afford health care? Cool. Can't afford the fine for health care? Better. I'll throw you in jail. You get free health care. That's it. You just uncovered it. Amazing. He is smarter than they say. The funny thing about the president, and I don't know, I don't really know what side I take with the president as far as who or what he really is. I've never known a president that gets such radical reviews, whether or not, like, this dude is the biggest idiot ever. And then the other half of people I hear say, this guy's the most incredibly genius, maniacal man. And I'm not talking about the others. Of course the others think that he's great, but, from the side of people who look at him and know something's amiss, they either think this guy's an idiot or this guy's so incredibly genius that he's pulling all this off. You know what I mean? It's just an interesting thing with him.
He's interesting all around. I don't really give a fuck about his birth certificate or anything like that.
Definitely
I look at it this way. It's like, you and I remember specifically, we were out fishing, and I was trying to tell you, nah, man, things are going to be different. I really believe in this guy. And that was his first presidency. He was just starting up. Bush was wrapping up his whatever the fuck he was doing for 8 years. And,
he did a lot in those 8.
I think about that every single time I get angry at the television, or I get angry at the newspaper, or I get angry when I look at my pay stub. Then I was very wrong.
Yeah, but, see, the thing about that also is, Mike, if let's say you would have voted for the Crypt Keeper and Sarah Palin, I really don't think that we would see that. The only thing I think that would have happened that would have been better is that old man would never have gotten a second term. So his damage would have been limited. Whereas when Obama got put in, I pretty much knew he was going to be in again.
We were fucked. It was the same thing with Bush Gore.
Yeah, you're right.
Bush Kerry. It hasn't been different for ages. I voted this time around for Gary Johnson, knowing he wouldn't win.
Right.
But I wanted to see him get that 5%.
He'll never, they'll never be, Michael Savage is pushing for a nationalist party. It'll never happen. There'll never be a third party, which is why we need, like I said, we need to start solving the problems on our own and stop calling on them, If we stop calling on them, they can't have the power to do things like this.
This is that generation. This is the generation of probably about 3/4 of our generation. You and I.
Genocide.
Gimme, help me mentality. I would argue it's probably more with our. I don't want to say my child's generation. She's super young, but like.
No, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean?
5 years.
Slightly younger than us. Like
about 5 years, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's really bad, and I refuse to raise my kid with this mentality. I don't necessarily, absolute self-reliance, but take care of yourself. Like, the perfect example is, 6-year-olds with cell phones. It blows my mind. It's just, you're starting it at an early age. I don't know, I don't even know where it comes from or what to say about it specifically. It's just that, how can you be happy with your life being given everything? Do you not want to earn anything? There's a certain amount of pride in busting your ass and earning something that you wanted or earning something that you need. I don't understand that.
But I think if you never experience it, then you never know. If from the time you're born, you're given everything you want, and you're not expected to do anything for it, then you never even know. You know what I mean? And if you don't know the satisfaction, and in this country, every single day we're looking at less and less motivation to work hard.
Yeah, well, look at welfare. Welfare is, wow. So I think the best opinion and the most accurate opinion, I shouldn't say that. The opinion that lines up with mine the most is Adam Carolla's. And I don't know if you ever listen to this guy talk.
Well, I mean, not in a while.
Right. Well, most people think of him as just some guy watching girls jump on a trampoline.
Yep.
So
Guilty.
If you have a chance, check out his audiobook. It's called In 50 Years We'll All Be Chicks. It's about the masculinity disappearing.
Oh, yeah, big time.
He also touches on a lot of other things, and a lot of things that would line up with your opinion and my opinion on the way this nation operates. But he goes into welfare, and he says it's the worst case scenario for anyone. It's not a good solution for anyone. So the reason being, someone who doesn't have a job probably doesn't have a job for one of many reasons, but one of them is that they're depressed. And if you don't have a job, you feel insignificant. So you're depressed anyway. So then you're just given this welfare check, and it takes away any need to get up and get out of the house and go find a job. So, it's absolutely accurate. And it's you get the people with their welfare check. There's a state building right down the street from my house where they line up around the corner at the first of every month. Or was it first Friday? I don't even know. They line up to get their check. And it's, you hear, how am I supposed to survive on $700 a month? You're not supposed to survive on $700.
Right, exactly.
You're supposed to, accept this for a little while. We're trying to help you out, get some food and your kids, and get out there and get your ass a job. Now, I get that there's supposedly no jobs. I think that's something that's being perpetuated by the media.
Definitely.
There's jobs out there, man. I have a job myself. I know other people who not only have jobs, but have recently moved to better paying jobs, opening up their jobs, and there's jobs where I work, and there's many jobs out there. I don't know very many unemployed people.
Go to Craigslist.com. Click jobs, and you'll be floored. You'll be saying to yourself, this can't even be real. It's like a treasure trove if you're unemployed.
Right. So what are we doing here? We're listening to the news. The news says, oh man, there's no jobs. Sorry about that. Yeah, the government says there's no jobs. Unemployment's at such and such a percentage, but it's bigger than that. So what are we doing? Are we keeping people in front of the TV? Is that what the goal is? Or are we keeping people dependent on the government? Is that the goal? What's our goal here? Why are we lying to people? There's jobs out there. I don't understand what we're doing here.
That is a great question, Mike. What is the end game? Some days I wake up and I think they want all the power, so they want as many of us dependent on them as possible. Mm-hmm. And then some days I think they really are just trying to crush America by eliminating all the jobs, because they're so good at eliminating jobs. It's almost unbelievable, really.
Look at this. All right, here's my question. Every person, every American citizen living in America pays taxes. Okay? The number of citizens keeps getting bigger. Every citizen pays taxes. Okay, so that means more money. All right. Crime ain't going anywhere. So, cops are paid through taxes. There's a lot of crime. Means there's a lot of jobs. There's a lot of taxpayers. Means there's a lot of money to pay the cops. Why are we firing cops? So, I'm just trying to figure these things out. These are the things that bounce around my head. Why are we saying there's no jobs?
We're firing cops because SNAP, you know what SNAP is, right? The fancy new name for food stamps. SNAP, SNAP and welfare are up so high. Workers, what's it called when you go, I don't even know what it's called because I've never done it in my life. When you go line up and get money because you got fired or laid off. I can't think of what it's called. But anyhow, that's out through the roof, you know, on top of all the other spending that states and the federal government are putting out. You know, it's just what it is. The conundrum is, what I can't figure out, Mike, is why they say we need your guns and we don't want you to have police either.
I can't figure it out. I don't know what the end game is. You know, there's somebody, a group of somebody's figuring it out. I'm not saying there's a conspiracy because I don't want to sound like one of them people, but it sounds like a conspiracy. It really does. There's got to be something going on here. It's not like there are jobs. There is tax money. What the hell's going on?
Right, exactly. I don't know. I have no idea. It's one of those things that we'll probably never know. The only thing we can do, like I said, is figure out ways to prop these people that are so-called without jobs up, using our community resources and not using our government resources, because that's going to get us nowhere. That's going to get us deeper in debt, you know, and not that it even really matters anymore. I mean, what does our debt even matter? I read it.
Such a huge number, like it really doesn't. We'll never pay it off.
I mean, it's impossible to pay it off. And second of all, I read a really interesting article about the fact that America can print its own money.
Yeah.
It says so in the Constitution. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So essentially, we could pay the cops with money that we just print.
That's what we've been doing, from what I understand.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. But I mean, we could pay all of our bills with like...
Well, that was the idea. Did you hear in the news recently? The idea to pay off $1 trillion in debt?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the article I read about.
So, it makes no sense.
Oh, it definitely makes no sense.
This is essentially how, here's our plan. If you were to compare it to living on your own, you've got $140,000 in credit card debt. You're making $30,000 a year. So you figure, shit, to get out of this hole, I'm going to write down on a piece of paper $100,000. And then I'm going to hand it to my wife. She's going to send it to Citibank. And that's going to take care of my life.
And
doesn't make any damn sense.
And they're going to go, oh, this is cool. We'll take this.
Yeah.
No, it's, you know. But then again, Mike, here's where I'm at, dude. Mentally, I'm stuck in this hole. Ready? Check it out. We get on the government because they spend like fucking madmen. If they stopped spending like madmen tomorrow, the country would collapse, dude. If they couldn't spend money to make sure that our milk price is the way it is, to make sure our imports weren't as cheap as they are, to make sure the welfare lines were nice and long, people would riot.
Oh, absolutely.
So
that's good. Anything that brings people into action, dude. You know what? I'm gonna go as far to say this. This is, as you introduced me, I need something to get off my chest.
Yeah, for sure.
This is where I'm at with the world now. They won't riot. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they'll get lethargic, and then they'll just kind of roll over, and that'll be it for a while. I don't know what it's going to take to wake people up. What have we been dealing with? We had 8 years of George Bush, right? And I don't know, probably about 50% of your audience is probably a Bush hit, so I'm sorry.
No way.
No? Good. All right.
No way. Well, I don't even know 50% of my audience, but I'm going to guess no.
So you got George Bush, and usually when you hear George Bush, you hear something along the lines of praise Obama, but you're not going to hear that from me, I promise. So George Bush, 8 years, right? 2001 happens. He handles it like I don't even know how to, like a semi-retarded adult trying to figure out how to open a car door. Like, that's the look on his face when it happened and he was told. And then he finished reading his kitty book. And then he went on TV and he told people to go buy duct tape and plastic wrap. So that happened. And then he spent the following, the remainder of his term waging war in a country that had nothing to do with it, and then another country for a while, and then we finally found this dude, I don't know, wasting our time, wasting our money, and sending all these kids to die is my point. Nobody riots. Nobody freaks out. Nobody screams impeachment. Then we got Obama, who I'm convinced is, I don't even know how to say this, it's like he gets on the camera and he says, listen guys, I'm with you. It's these guys in the Senate and in the Congress. They're the assholes. We really need to team up against these guys. And then he shuts the door and starts talking to people about how can we fuck this country up more. I don't know. I don't get it. I feel like he is, Bush was at war with the world. I feel like Obama's at war with us.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Well, the thing about Bush was it was phenomenal because it was like, you knew he had nothing to do with anything that had anything to do with anything, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? He was a complete... And I think he was cool with being a complete suit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That was his thing. You mean I get to hang out for 8 years? I get to go play golf in the best places to play golf?
Right.
I get to hang out and eat good food, drink apparently a decent home brew, and then be on my merry with security for the rest of my life to make sure nobody puts a bullet in me. Sounds like a good deal.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, Dick Cheney and the rest of the I don't even know I can't even think of anything clever. I'm so angry still. Assholes. These guys just, set to work dismantling the world. And again, nobody riots, nobody gets up off the couch, and everybody's concerned about, you know what? I feel like so-and-so should have won American Idol, and I'm really upset about it. Boycott them.
You got it.
What are we even talking about, man?
Well, the great thing is this. The only real uprising we had came at such a bad point in time. We had two. We had the Tea Party,
yeah,
and then we had the Occupy movement. The Tea Party came up, and there was too many white people in it, and the president was half black, so obviously that was a racist movement. That got stamped on quick, and they're pretty much, irrelevant now. I mean, if you even hear anything, it's usually scoff followed by a scoff.
Yeah.
And the Occupy was our...
Man.
Oh, definitely. The Occupy was our generation of folks, and we're good at doing nothing on a regular basis, so we were like, this is kind of cool. I'm going to make a difference this week. And then it got cold, and they were like,
well,
let's go inside.
I think that when those kids were out there and they're really doing something, I was proud of these kids. Like, it wasn't an organization. It was just a bunch of really angry people, angry for the right reasons, it seemed. And then they kind of lost focus, and it turned into a Woodstock without the music.
Well, that's what it is, Nobody rise. The cream does not rise to the top with these things, You've got to have some sort of a leader take advantage. That's how things worked before. You know what I mean? These upheavals would happen, and then leaders would take their place, and nobody wants the responsibility. They're good with the quota. That's what it is. They're good with the quota, and this is a cool idea for now, but and the government knows it. They just sit back and say, let them wear themselves out. They're like little kids. It's like when your daughter runs around the room and she's acting crazy. You just, let her wear herself out.
Yeah.
Fall asleep. That's it. Lull us to sleep.
Well, that's what happened. And also, you guys can't stand here. And you guys can't camp here. You guys got to go home. All right, we're going to handcuff you and not tell you why. And let's mace a bunch of college kids. Like, it got a little out of hand.
Oh, it definitely got out of hand.
But, of course, eventually they dismantled it. And it wasn't, I don't know, and the media treated them all like crazy assholes. But in the large part, I'm sure that's the way it was. I wasn't there. I was watching on TV just like everybody else. But, I was also keeping up with social media, which I think is the most honest form of media now. You're getting news right from the horse's mouth. Somebody posts something, which is real news, and then that gets shared, and that gets shared, and that gets shared, and before you know it, millions of people have seen it. It hasn't been touched by any FCC regulation or been run by some editor or producer or anything like that. That's honest media. So that's where I was following it a lot of the time.
Well, that sounds like a legit place to go for it.
Yeah.
So, I guess basically, and I told the audience I wouldn't make this a gun show, but guess what, guys? I made it a gun show. Essentially, because that's where I'm going again. What we're looking at now, I seen that he said he has 19 executive actions he wants to take. Old El Presidente. All I heard about was banning the assault rifles, banning the extended clips, and...
It wasn't even extended clips, dude.
Oh, yeah, the 10, anything greater than 10, right, yeah. So basically my Ruger upstairs is illegal now.
Right.
How much of this is going to go through? That's the question. And I think you might be right. On the federal level, we may not see a lot of it.
No, and look at them trying to get anything passed. Dude can't get, things passed that some Republicans want. You think he's going to get this passed? So what will happen is the blue states and the states that are, pro-Obama and anti-guns and all that shit, whatever the hell that even means. I don't even know what anti-gun even means.
Yeah, what does anti-gun mean? That is a great question. What is the other alternative?
Every one of us is protected by guns.
Everyone. If the guns were so bad, the police wouldn't carry them, right?
Exactly. So I was listening to a guy on the news, watching local news that my wife has on it. They cover a lot of great international stuff. They call it France 24, I think. It's not a French station, I don't know. It's a lot of British people. I don't know why it's called France 24. If it was French, I'd probably shut it off. But they...
Oui.
They also have the New Jersey news come on occasionally. So I'm feeding my daughter. I'm getting her ready and stuff.
So she obviously vomited at the sight of New Jersey news.
Yeah, so
after you clean that up...
And of course, they get into gun control. And, again, what the hell does that mean? And... dude says, I forget his party affiliation, but it was one of the smaller parties, and basically like patriotician or something like that. But he was saying basically the same thing we're all saying. What's the difference between me and the soldier? So the anchor's response was, well, a soldier's trained. And the guy says to the anchor, well, so am I. You want to go get a gun. We're all about letting people get trained. You want to go take a training course in order to get yourself on a high-power rifle? Absolutely. I'm behind that. You want to get yourself a gun? I think maybe, it's not a bad idea. You learn how to use it.
Oh, no. I was actually talking to your mom about that the other day. Just exactly on that point. I think that's a great idea that she had. We should know how to use it. What good is a gun if you don't know how to use it?
Right, and that's what, first thing I did was okay, first I researched the shit out of the gun. Make sure it's the gun that I want, because that's just what I do. And then I decide, okay, I'm really going to figure out how to use this thing without putting a hole in my leg. So these seems like two good points already that I think everybody should follow. If you want to find yourself an NRA certified instructor and get yourself taught on the proper uses and safe uses of the weapon, safe storage of the weapon, and let me come back to this, and I apologize to your audience for this as well, but the Connecticut shooting, safe storage of the weapon would have prevented the entire situation with the gun in mind. Now,
right,
granted,
no, definitely.
If you come at the kids with a hatchet, I don't think we'd be talking about hatchet control, but we would still be mourning the loss of these kids, and it'd still be disgusting and horrible, but point is, his mom didn't keep the gun locked up, apparently, and that's how he got his hands on a weapon. So, proper storage of the weapon, proper use of the weapon, I think these are fine things. If that's what comes out of this legislation, anybody who buys a gun has to take a course, perfectly okay with that. And of course, you're going to see the cost of courses go up, $375 or something like that. But regardless, I think education's a good thing. I think that's a good focus. I would like to see that come out of the gun control craze that's going on right now. You know, don't take it away from people that aren't bothering anyone. They're just protecting their family. You know,
that's great. I definitely like the idea. And like I said, I think it's something that was left out of the Constitution, because everybody had a gun, everybody had to hunt to eat, so everybody knew how to use a gun, and I'm sure that they never envisioned agriculture being what it is today. And, you know, but all that being said, what all, out of all the uproar, if that actually was passed, and, you know, it would be good for the country. I don't think it would be bad at all. What you're doing is stopping nothing horrible from happening. You know what I mean? There's still maniacs. There's still criminals. Criminals are not going to do what you want. Laws aren't made for criminals. You know what I mean? Because it's just what it is. They don't follow the laws.
And there's people that I've had that discussion with, and it's an excellent point, where, you know, criminals don't obey laws. That's why they're criminals. So the counter argument to that tends to be, well, then I guess we should just, you know, not have laws at all. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? Like, no, the laws are there to protect us from criminals. And somewhere along the line that got confused and it was used to control people. But if someone breaks the law and then they're caught, they're punished based on the law. So, no, don't get rid of the laws, dumbass. Like, just pay attention and you know, if so-and-so shoots so-and-so, that guy should be taken out back and shot too. I don't even understand the life sentences and all that stuff that we're forced to pay for.
Wow.
If X amount of people saw him shoot, you know, John Doe, then that's it. Texas has it right. Texas does that shit right.
I think that's what it comes down. I think with the one thing that's scary about that, Mike, is the fact that if you're a guy who's not liked in the community, and enough of your community members could come together and say, that dude shot that dude, then you die. You know what I mean? Whenever the government has control over life, that's one of the reasons why, of all my issues, that I side with the right on abortion is one of the ones that I can't go there. I can't go with the government going one way or the other in the decision making.
Yeah, that doesn't make any damn sense. At the risk of falling terribly off topic and getting into that, the government telling you what you can do with your family is weird.
One way or the other, to me, is weird. You know what I mean? I don't like them telling you should or you shouldn't.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't. It doesn't at all. I don't think they should be able, you know. And yeah, it's not a moot point from what we're talking about, because it definitely does go right along with what the government should and should be able to do with our life. Because I'm not going to tell the story again, but because I tell it almost every week. But it all comes down to that foot in the door. You know what I mean? That's always what it comes down to with me and the government when they do these things. These gun laws and this thing is a foot in the door, and they're just going to sneak in through the door little by little until they're sitting on top of you in your living room on your couch.
It's not that they're going to do it, it's that they've been doing it.
Yeah, right. No, you're right. Exactly.
Look at the people that got pissed off about the Patriot Act. But you try to, and again, this is a point that I'll borrow from Adam Carolla, because the dude's like so in line with my thought process, but his example was, you know, you get pissed off about the Patriot Act. How about getting on a plane? Or how about trying to build a pool in your backyard?
Right.
Like, the government's already telling you how to run your life. The government's already in your life. And you go to them screaming and crying, please help, to give you a big hug and put their fist in your back pocket. Like, they're just ripping, you know, every cent they can from your hand, from the people that have anything but not too much, and giving it to the people who don't have anything, and letting the people that have too much keep what they got. But yeah, I mean, my point is that they're not, first valid point I've made in this entire conversation, probably. They're not on their way in the door, dude. They're on your couch.
No, that's true.
They've already shit in your sink, and now they're drinking the milk out of the carton.
No, you're right. There's one of them up in bed with my wife right now. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. And, I guess this year is all about finding out. It's all about putting the feelers out and seeing if we can we do anything. You know what I mean?
Let's 60 minutes into this conversation, let's really reel it back into what the hell we were supposed to be talking about.
Yeah.
What can we do as people? And I think that's an excellent point, man. When you said that, I was really happy. You'd sent me, I guess, an email or something along those lines, like getting something together. You put like an APB out on your blog where it was, if you got skills, if you have anything to offer to the world.
Yeah, that's it.
It wasn't the hate message that you so often see. Look at Anonymous. And to a certain extent, I support the Anonymous, I guess, group, if you want to call them that. Even though working in the internet as I do.
I don't know what that is. Enlighten me on the Anonymous.
Is what a hacktivist is?
Yeah.
Okay, so Anonymous is the biggest hacktivist group, or the most recognized. They started out by getting really pissed off at a Nazi AM radio show.
Wow.
And they ended up costing this guy so much money by hacking his website and having him pay, it's called a DDoS attack, having him pay bandwidth overages that he lost money and couldn't fund his show anymore. And he was just a horrible, hateful human being. But they didn't stop at that. They kept going, and they ended up getting into his servers or something and accessing files. Turns out he was an informant for the FBI. And I guess he was doing something wrong he shouldn't have been doing, so he ended up going to prison. So that's how they got their start, and then they started screwing with the Westboro Baptist Church, which is another disgusting, vile pile of human being.
I don't even understand, and I know we're slipping off again, but I don't even understand what the Westboro Baptist Church is.
I think what their message is God really, really hates us.
I just don't understand where they come from and why. In a saner time, I could see a Catholic church baseball batting the Westboro Baptist Church into submission. Right? Now that sounds violent and crazy to some people, but in a saner world, that's what would happen.
You need to pick up a history book. The Catholic Church is violence.
I mean, but couldn't you really see? And I didn't mean to poke at the Catholic Church because I'm not Catholic, but it's wasn't the point I was getting at. Just the fact that people should go bust an ass because, dude, you know what I mean? If it was my thing, like if I was a priest and these people were out doing this crazy stuff, it definitely would cross my mind. Like, look, I need to go choke this guy up and be like, you're really making this hard on everybody who's trying to make a real point here.
I got you, dude. And I'm with you. They're disgusting people. They upset me every time they speak. And there's less than 50 of them. There's about 12 people that founded it, and there's less than 50 of these people. And they managed to make all this trouble.
Yeah, they're like Lady Gaga. They just
they protested the kids from Connecticut's funeral.
Awesome. That's great.
They do that and sleep at night.
People like that, man, they just want attention. That's all it is. It's got nothing to do with God. That's straight up put me on camera. That's all that is.
Yeah.
It's Lady Gaga. That's what that is.
Anonymous screws with them on the regular. They just recently got their asses handed to them, actually. Anonymous hacked in and found all their personal information, social security numbers, phone numbers, banking numbers, addresses, and posted them on the internet for everyone to find.
Nice.
Took their sites down, took their Twitter down. Yeah, so anyways, Anonymous is like a hacktivist group, and they, in some ways I support them because they tend to stick up for when it's actually anonymous and not some jerk claiming to be anonymous. They tend to stick on the right side. They tend to fall in line exactly the things that I would get angry about as well. But it didn't sound like you were doing anything hateful like that, let's punish these people or anything like that. It sounds like you were just saying, let's do something positive. Let's figure this out.
That's what it is. That's what it is. I have got 0 emails so far. Granted, it's been less than a week since that show aired where I first brought the idea to reality. But so I'm just hoping to get some feedback from some people, because I really, I told them on the show, I said, I don't have all the answers. I've got some ideas. And, I'm 26 years old. There's people who listen to this show that have been on the planet for probably 40 years longer than me. I think people like that are the ones I want to tap the minds of, you know what I mean? People who've been through the ringer here. And, instead of pointing fingers, we have to figure out how to build that locality back.
Yeah.
How to get people out of the TV. People have to get out of the television. And like I said, I'm just a big push on building the community. That's the closest thing to an answer is what I can come up with.
I'm guilty of this, just like I think a lot of other people are. Not the TV thing as much, but the community. In a way, there's a lot of me really wants that sense of community, but I can't tell you. In fact, I know I haven't had a real conversation with many of my neighbors. There's an older woman next door that we talk to regularly, but anyone else in my neighborhood, I couldn't tell you their name.
You know why? Because as a society, we have, I don't know how it happened, and even older folks it happens to, we have been we just can't stand rejection. And I even catch myself doing this when I'm driving out of my neighborhood, and I see somebody out there walking their dogs or whatever, and it's like, if I put my hand up to wave at this guy, because yeah, well, that's not the thing, right? It's like, if I wave at him and he doesn't look, I want to pull my hand down real quick so I don't look like a stooge ball because he doesn't want to wave at me. You know what I mean? And it's like, we can't throw caution to the wind and just be ourselves. That's what the problem is. But you're 100% right, Mike. I mean, there's neighbors that I never talk to in my neighborhood for all the talk that I do about, community building and stuff like that. But again, like I said, we got to put the feelers out this year and really try it. I'm not saying it even could work. There is the scary fact that perhaps we're not even meant to have a community this way anymore. Or, people will just not devote their time to it.
I'm a big believer that we're supposed to be based in small communities, small village type things, the way things were, for eons. Well, that's an exaggeration, obviously, but for thousands of years, we lived in small villages, small communities. Everyone helped, everyone did their share, everyone had a purpose. And even up into the early America, where it was, we got a banker, we got a cobbler, we got a couple brewers, we got an innkeep, we got a general store, we got runners, we got mailmen, that's the way it's supposed to be. Everybody has their purpose. But now we got so many people that we lose track of that. No one has one purpose in their community anymore. I don't know many people that work in their community. I work clear across the state. And I know most other people do the same thing or work in another state. So, no, I don't think we have that focus anymore. I don't know if we're, not literally, but, socially evolving out of that mindset. But it's a shame because it seemed to work for a long time. And this doesn't seem to be working at all.
I was watching a flick last night, and it's a really good one. If you have Netflix, check it out. It's called Surviving Progress. Mm-hmm. And, among a million other topics that they talk about, one of the things that one of the scientists on there said was, we're essentially like lemmings. You know what I mean? We want to do what other people do. It goes back to our primate mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, in order to get anything done, we have to have enough people that lead by example. Enough people that can make it cool to talk to your neighbor. Enough people that can make it cool to do the right thing. You know what I mean?
That's an excellent point, because if you look at who we elect into the world right now to run our country and for us to look up to, it's a bunch of rich, disconnected people who have no idea how we live our lives.
Right, because that's what we want.
Those aren't even the people that you look up to. So that's the people you should look up to. Honestly, your government. That's these are people that you should look up to. These are not the kind of people you should look up to, because we elect in these weirdos who nobody actually likes, and people just show up in a booth and they hit red or blue. But the kind of people you put in government are the kind of people you should look up to. But the people that people do look up to are, again, people on TV. I want to be just like Justin Bieber. I want to be just like so-and-so. I want to be just like Eminem. I want to be just like Kobe Bryant, or R. Kelly. I want to pee on people too.
Now, here's the slippery slope with that too. And this goes back to my point. Like I said, it's got to be learned in the community, because I hear another public outcry in the background of this gun talk, and it's one that I might hate just as much as the gun talk, and that is, we need to get rid of the violent movies and the violent video games.
Yeah, Joe Biden is doing that this week. He's supposed to report to Obama, I think today at some point, with his findings. So he's given 4 days.
What's he playing? Grand Theft Auto 7?
It's not far off, dude. So essentially what he's been doing is he's the head of a task force that's in charge of finding out, just what's making the kids so violent these days. And he's given 4 days to figure this out. So from the 11th until today, I think it was, he met with the NRA, and he met with the video game industry, so the higher-ups of all the video game companies. This is something that's true to my heart, because this is something I take seriously. I think it's a form of art, and it seems almost...
if nothing else, it's Amendment 1. That's what bothers me.
That I mean, but I mean, what I mean is, I feel like a hypocrite, being both prep-minded and get out away from the TV-minded and things like that. But I'm also a huge video game person. I think it's another form of art for people, and I think it's something that deserves respect. So this guy's going around and talking to these people, and he's going to go back to Obama and be like, hey, there's a lot of violent video games. We should probably do something about that. So it's the same thing Tipper Gore did for music. It's the same thing they're going to do now for video games, and it's going to be bad, whatever that is. But regardless, it's not anything. As you said in your last show, I think it was your last show, where, we played all the most violent video games.
Yeah.
You and me were Quake 3 heads. We played tons of Quake 3. Grand Theft Auto. We did all that crap. If it was bloody, it was awesome. And questionable religious stuff growing up, so that's not it. There's no definite, absolute 100% cause for any of this, except that some people are mentally unstable, and those are the people that are going to take it too far. And it's not that because this kid played this video game or listened to this band or watched this movie, he decided to do this. He wasn't recreating a scene from a movie or anything retarded. He was mentally unstable. He had a problem, and something told him to go shoot some people, and it had nothing to do with a movie.
You know what I think it comes down to a lot, Mike, and this is why the first step this year I want to push this mentoring angle. And early in the show, I gave you that complicated mentoring website I wanted you all to go to. The URL, you may need a few pieces of paper to write it down, but it's very important, and that's mentoring.org. Check it out, because I really believe that, well, here's the root cause in my mind. Only because I speak from personal experience. Like you said, we played Quake 3. We blew heads off people for fun. We set people on fire for fun in video games. In the background, we had music about killing people and raping dead bodies and everything sick that you could imagine. Then we were tired with that. We'd pop a good old flick in like The Crow and watch people get cut up and stabbed and women raped. And this was what Mike and I did every day. Like, we were inundated with violence. From my personal view, the reason that I don't believe this stuff changes you is because if you have a support system at home, I would talk to my parents probably weekly. I'd sit down Friday night typically. I didn't have work, and we would talk, and they would almost like a train that's going off track. You know what I mean? They'd pick me up, they'd put me back on track, and they'd be, it wasn't even like they said, you need to stop listening to this shit, Jim, you're going to be an idiot. We would just talk, you know what I mean? And they would almost reaffirm what's right and what's wrong in my head. And I don't think kids are getting that anymore today. I think, I think the Halo guy is their dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There is no, and that's a problem we can't fix. We can't make dads appear. We can't make moms stop working late. So I think that mentoring, taking that little, it's really once a week. You can do it as little as once a week and meet with a kid who doesn't have the support system at home, and you're not to be their parent, but you're to get out there and show them, look, dude, I'm doing the right thing. You know what I mean? I may not have all the money, I don't have all the answers, but, sometimes kids just need to talk to someone other than the kid next to them in school.
Right.
And,
somebody who's been through it.
Yeah, or maybe not even. Or maybe talk to somebody that just doesn't even say shit back to them. You know what I mean? Just be like, dude, this kid's bothering me at school, man. It's making me so pissed off. I just want to punch him in the face, da-da-da-da-da, and go on for an hour. Then I drop you back off at your house, and you go, man, I feel good, I might not go search for a gun and shoot this guy in the face because I got it off my chest. It's that simple. Or it could be that simple. I don't know for a fact because I never wanted to shoot anybody in the face. But, well, let's just say I never acted on it. How about that?
Yeah, I'm with you 110%, man. Where, like you said, we were inundated with that violence. And, I think you're onto something, man. Because if you think about it, these people don't have that structure.
That's what it is.
Dad's gone. Mom works late. What do I got? Stay out till midnight, getting into trouble, or sit myself in front of the TV, watch South Park, or play Call of Duty into the hours. But I don't think that. I think that's definitely affecting people, but I don't think it's making them go out and shoot one another. If that were the case, it'd be happening a lot more than.
Oh, definitely.
But you know what I noticed growing up? What you had in your house, and I sat at it a few times, and what I have in my house, and you sat at it a couple times, is a dining room table.
Yes.
And I don't think people are focusing on that anymore. Now, granted, my wife didn't grow up in a house where it was real dining room table oriented.
Really? Italian gal? That's surprising.
This is what I'm saying. There's an exception to every rule, but I think it's a good rule of thumb to have the dining room table. But again, she didn't grow up, they watch TV or whatever, but she grew up with a really good family, very good people, and they knew how to talk to their kids like they were human beings. But most people, you need that setting. Every actor needs a stage, to get your thoughts flowing and everything. It's good to have a setting. So I guess the dining room table just forces you to be there with your family for about 45 minutes a day. And during those 45 minutes, you just talk about your day. Probably the same thing you did with your parents.
Definitely.
And then, just what'd you do today? What are you thinking? How do you feel lately? Things like that. Just have a conversation.
That's it. They don't understand the benefits. They really don't understand the benefits of what that little bit of time can do. And like I said, understanding that, and your point is right on. There are kids out there that can't, there's just no way they can have it. You know what I mean? They go to grandmom's after school, or whatever the situation is. There's people who don't have that opportunity, and I think that's where the people have to step up. There's a problem with our society, and we have the ability to fix it. But it all goes back to my question to the audience, and that is, do you want to fix it? Do you want to take the time and fix it, or do you want to just poke fingers for the rest of your life and just watch it deteriorate? The choice is really yours. It really is. We can figure this out together, or we can look back in 30, 40 years and say, we really let it fall apart.
That's where we're going. I've been saying something similar forever, man. Where people right now, they'll talk to anybody. Don't even address your opinions on them. It's a good social experiment. Just get them talking about the state of things right now. And I guarantee you, more than 9 times out of 10, probably 49 times out of 50, you'll hear, man, the government's really fucking up.
Yes.
And no one's going to say, man, you know what? What the fuck are we doing? Nobody. And I'm just, like I've been saying it forever, I'm just as much to blame. I haven't done shit about it.
Right.
I'm getting pretty fed up with myself. I'm getting pretty fed up with everybody. Nobody's happy right now. Very few people. So how do we fix that? Nobody's going to do it for us. And I think that's pretty much what you're saying.
That's exactly it. The only person that's going to do it for us is the one that's going to bury us. And that's the ones that are doing research right now on, the best places to respawn. So
yeah.
that's basically it. So I guess I'm going to close this one out, Mike. How you feel? You feel all right?
Yeah, man, I actually do feel a bit better. I appreciate that.
Hey, no problem. No problem. Got to get it out. So, got some food for thought, guys. Definitely want to... Mike, did you see the I Am Liberty drawing yet?
The drawing?
I got to get you that. Anyway, the end of the show, I always close out with the I Am Liberty... the Our World, rather. The Our World drawing. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't see that. You told me about this. I was excited about it. And I apologize to anybody who was paying attention for a while. I kind of fell off the planet.
No, that's all right. We're at episode 24 right now in Our World. So definitely get out there, check that out. My blog is essentially just becoming Our World hub. I really have no reason to put anything else up there because now I have the Facebook page, and like I said, it's a one-time-a-week radio show. I don't want to kill people with posts every day, and you get bogged down with stuff like that. But anyhow, you know what I'm saying. Get out there and read Our World. I say it every episode. Read it. It's awesome. It keeps getting more awesome. But anyhow, what do we got? We got the gun giveaway. You might not even be able to buy a fucking 45 in a couple days, so enter to win it now while you can. Go to prepperpodcast.com. And Steven from Alerts USA is still giving away those free radiation kits. It's free stuff. I say it every episode. It's free. You know what I mean? You go there, you give them a little information. They're going to email you some stupid stuff you can just delete. But it's free. Go give it away. I'm not getting any kind of stipend for getting you guys to go fill these forms out either. So personally, I could care less. Steven sent me one of the packages for helping him out. So it really doesn't matter to me. I just want you guys to get some free shit. Damn it. But anyhow, that's it for tonight, guys. Thanks so much. We got some stuff off both of our chests here, I think, and I hope you didn't stop listening 20 minutes ago. And if you did, no big deal, because this show was beneficial on maybe another level. But I want to hear you guys' ideas. This is serious, and if I don't hear any ideas from you, I'm going to find another outlet for this idea, because I can't fix it myself, but I know there's a lot of people out in the world that want to fix it. Like I said, prepping, it's not just about the canned goods and the MREs. You got to get the community straight. It's important. But it's James with I Am Liberty, man. I'll be back next Thursday. No doubt, you know the time. Same old, same old.
This is KPRN-DB, broadcasting worldwide from southeast Oklahoma, USA, to parts unknown.
Hey preppers, James Smith here. I've got a new advertiser to tell you about. It is ultimatepreppers.net. There's a couple brothers out of the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area that have this website. It's chock full of everything you need, and at a decent price. Let me tell you, they've got a Mayday fanny pack kit for less than $30, a Guide 10 Plus Adventure kit for solar power, 5-man tent for $89, tomahawks, GPS, go bags, so much more. Take a look at it. Freeze-dried food, supplies, you wouldn't believe it. Now they also sell guns online, and they also have military surplus items. Now, new items are being added daily. If you order more than $100, items are shipped free. Now, they also do take PayPal, so take a look at it. It's ultimatepreppers.net. That's ultimatepreppers, that's plural, .net.
Are you sick and tired of having your First Amendment harassed or censored on Facebook? Use no more, as we now have a new alternative to Facebook. It's called Awareness Act. Awareness Act is a social network designed for patriots, to be used by patriots, and is ran by patriots. Stand up and help in the fight to protect your constitutional rights. Patriots can create pages, blogs, videos, documents, articles, and so much more. We even have a unique news feed system that allows you to share, read, or connect with any patriot on Awareness Act. We are a dedicated tool for patriots to use against the tyranny our Constitution is facing. So if you're tired of having your rights infringed upon, come check us out at www.awarenessact.com. Again, that is www.awarenessact.com, the social network for patriots, not potatoes.
Whether you take me for the fool, I know that I can be. Whether you see me eye to eye.
Don't get caught with your pantry down. Try the most delicious Just Add Water storable food from Go Foods. No GMOs, no preservatives, no trans fats, no hydrogenated oils, and a 25-year shelf life. Enjoy it today and save money. Share it with others and earn money. Store it for the future and invest your money. You can't find better food for less anywhere. Made in the USA and guaranteed 100%. Plus, try it for free and decide for yourself at www.lovegofoods.com. To try it for free, go to www.lovegofoods.com. That's www.lovegofoods.com.
The truth is out there. Knowledge is power. This is the Prepper Podcast Radio Network.